Hello, happy morning on this frosty day. It looks like it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And it is, it's nice. And I was looking at the calendar, it's just a couple weeks away. Ah! I don't know why we always think that, well, I do anyways, why I think December is so far away, so long. It should be so long. Christmas always should be I like looking forward to Christmas. Let's go with that. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Hello, Lena. So it's Thursday morning. I remembered I was supposed to be on, so yay me. And honestly, I was like, oh, what have I got up today? And then I get to the evening and I think, oh yeah, la, 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 and I think, oh yeah, I don't have a live tonight. So my name's Lori LaRose. I have Active Stamping here and on Facebook. Good morning. And I do lives. I used to do lives all weeknights tonight kind of thing. Now I like to say I do them most weeknights. Wednesdays I have a club that I do it instead. And I decided about a year ago, my husband and I were country dancing lessons on Thursday night. So I thought, well, I'll do Thursday mornings and see how that makes out for the lunch crowd out east and my gals around here. So we woke up to a really cool morning. My husband made a beautiful fire, so that was really nice. And it is beautiful frosty. Actually, I think I can show you. Is that gonna... No, darn. Anyways, I don't know that you can see that, but it's really, really pretty. And I think if I put it down, then I'd be able to do that. But hello, Cheryl. All right, so last week I have to catch up. We skipped but we're going to do some inking right now. So that'll be good as part of the next technique, which is the Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. So I'll pop you down here. We'll get started and see. Oh, that did work. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I did like this one. I have to do an Instagram on this. Quick little tiny update. When I went and looked at this, the girls that did this, the idea of this, my sketch idea came from. It wasn't really a sketch, but the whole layout idea. That's what it's called, layout. Good morning, Ellie. Inking. Ooh, I'm going to be pinchy to meet you, actually, aren't I? Huh. When I make my meetings, sometimes I don't think about what I'm doing. So, yes, I will be there, but just right on time, basically. Hey, Ellie and I are meeting at 11:30, and I should wrap this up. But anyways, for that, it's only 10 here, so I'm good. Anyway, she did a little tiny bit of ink shading around her houses, and it looks great. So I would like to add just that little tiny bit, but otherwise, I thought that was a cute card the other day. So I brought this guy out just for a really quick little point out. I don't know what I'm trying to say, except this set is on sale right now, and it has beautiful dies. Look at how beautiful that is. And don't buy it as a bundled set, but pick out the dies and the stamps. See, and they're big. It's big. They are on pretty great sale. Like, I'm going to pretend, no, that my pricing isn't completely accurate probably, but like maybe $13 and $17 or something like that, right? So sort of like that. The Garden Meadows, also a great one to purchase the two pieces separately. And it says there's, 10 dies. I saw the 24 there. 24 OLE. Okay, yeah. I was going to say 24 dies. That's a heck of a steal. Anyways, quite a pretty little sophisticated set. All right, so Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, I looked at this little guy and I was like, ooh. And I think this was just in my hand. I don't think I actually have a story to tell you about that, so I can put that aside. Now, Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, I was thinking I might, you know how much I like this guy. Sorry for the little mess all around the place. Look, there's glue and everything by my desk. So again, Lori LaRose, and we're going to work with this. So I'm going to go grab a sheet of paper that I need. So you start with a piece of white paper, and I do a quarter panel of it. See what this is. That's not big enough. Hang on one second. Thought I would be in good stead there. And because I know what I'm working with here, I will do this one. So a piece of white paper. You're going to need your blending brushes. I think I'll bring them all out because now I have to think colors. What colors will I use? So now I'm just thinking, do I want to do a whole bunch of greens? I'm going to be inking the background, the whole entire piece of paper. And I'm thinking I could do, what did I think when I was going to do this? I can do a variation of greens, but I think I had like purple in my mind when I was going to do this. Purples and blues, petunia and boho. And maybe I'll pull in some azure. I don't know how you say it. And I don't know if fresh freezer's going to fit in there or not. What do you think? I'm gonna go kind of crazy. Why not? So I was actually, what I looked over at and I saw, oh, okay, good thing I kind of went off that line. I'm just teasing. I could use lemon lime twist. In my mind, I saw the parakeet. I still have my parakeet, the last year's in colors. We're just about coming up to the next year's in colors, for goodness sakes. Start making your little wish list because there's some really cute celebration things coming out and you'll want to have a chance to earn those by purchasing. And one great thing to purchase always, this is a highlight, and you'll hear me say it 1,000 times, so I probably really don't need to start with it. I always like to start with the lightest color. I'm not sure which boho is probably my lightest color in this case, which is interesting. Blues, I would have thought pinks over blues every time. And I have my little thing that Connie gave me, so I should put that on there. It helps quite a lot, actually. And a little boho. So this looks like a nice, so I have a variation. You can definitely get, that's what I was going to say for your list, is the refills for the in colors that you have that are going to be retiring, because they go very quickly come celebration. Okay, so I am just going to randomly color splotches all over, and I don't really want splotches, so I was trying to come off. That will be okay because it'll look good. And I do find that the boho, as pretty as it is darker than I think. So the little ones are not quite as fun on a huge big space like this. They're quite nice with some of the masks. We have some more masks coming out in the new catalog, which I ordered, and I have. And I think I can sneak peek the front cover, which is pretty. See if you guys can see what I did wrong with mine. Can you see that? Yep. If I show you the back cover, it'll become even more evident. What did I do wrong? Oh, How many of my people can I send this to when you order your catalogs in French? So, I don't actually have my proper catalogs. My people who are wanting to have the new catalogs. You will get a French catalog instead. You will understand nothing. This is a Duolingo course in learning another language. Okay, I might have to pull. It's interesting because to me, I love boho kind of stamps. I should stamp it. Boho stamps, boho, but I've never gotten it, and I should remember, but I don't until I go to do it. I'm just going to stamp so you can see. The boho color is quite, I don't know what I'm looking for. Words. Hello. That's way too big. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Oh, couldn't be more perfect. Hello. All right. So I was stamping yesterday with kids from the city, same as all kids around the world probably. Super cute kids in my oldest daughter's class. She has a teaching position in Calgary, and I was in Calgary for a Christmas concert. So you're thinking, what are you doing, Lori? I am just, this actually might work for this whole thing. Who knows? But I just am curious for you to see the difference of the color. I see wow, my eyeballs aren't working. Mannon, I think. Sorry, I'm thinking it's going to be Marlowe. And of course it's not there, so I could not see that name. All right, so am I right? Like, it's definitely family. I guess it's pretty close. The inking just doesn't seem to be quite the same color. But there it is. Anyways, there's a couple that they don't seem to be match that as good as they do, but mostly it's beautiful. I do love boho. I think it's a beautiful color. All right, I'm going to put in some fresh freesia. I'm hoping I have a fat one to use because I like the fat ones better on here, but Getting that feeling. I got a feeling. Okay, so on the nice glass mat, also a good thing to buy during celebration. And you're like, why are you talking celebration already? Well, it's coming up fast. And some of you are already finished all your shopping and you're just waiting until the release of the new catalog. That looks stunning. Holy mackerel, that's pretty, hey? Okay, so the lady that we went and watched sing for like two and a half, 3 hours, she had a violinist accompany her, and she was toured with Les Miserables back in the 90s, and classy lady, beautiful voice. That's fabulous. And so Christmas carols of all sorts. She did do a Les Miserables song, which was like, what? She said that she had toured with the French company for the couple years. So then when she pulled that one out of her hat, I was like, what? It was really beautiful. I Have a Dream, she sang. And yeah, some nice songs. I was trying to think if there was one other. She did a Celtic song. The violinist was like, would you consider doing this? And the lady was like, yeah. Isn't that pretty? We can just go home. Okay, so that is fresh freesia. And then I'm going to add in a little petunia pop. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'll just pop a little tiny bit. Sadly, can't pop too much except from the side, obviously. So the reason we go off a little tiny bit is because when you pick it up, all those gazillion thousand little brushes, can you see the brushes there? They are loaded. And so by hitting here first, it sort of spreads it, I guess, and then you bring it on. Oh, and still sometimes the darker colors just are loud. But then I'm picking the color back up. So I'm still using all that color. I just need it to come on a little slower. All right. So that's just some intensity. And I think intense would be nice to have. I overdid. I would have minded a little tiny bit more soft, but okay. Then bringing in the dark azure. And this looks like some of my skies that I have sometimes. So we're doing Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. Some of you will be like, oh, we know what's next. And others of you will be like, what does that mean? Yeah, it does look like a Technicolor Dreamcoat. Just you wait, it gets better. Okay. And I like this one 2 different ways. Like this, you can stop part way always. In fact, you could stop right now and just have a beautiful sky. Okay, I'm going to stop with that. And I think it's going to be beautiful. I might just add a little heavy inking on the side there. A lot of times I wouldn't worry about that, but this particular stamp set that I'm using is going to definitely show up there. So we'll cross our fingers. Crossing our fingers with this set too, actually, as I'm looking at it. I think it's going to be nice. We'll give it a go. Okay, so we are going to, I'm going to actually heat set this a little tiny smidgen because I'm going to emboss over top of it now. So the next step is clear embossing powder. So you need to have your clear embossing powder. And as typical, I probably just opaque white. Ugh. As typical, I have all 5 of ours. Oh, there it is, yay. Our new embossing powders. Hi, Jan. Our new embossing powders come in groups of 3, and I have 5 out of the 6, but yay! The fairies have been good to me, and there they are. I put 5 of them away over here, and I was a little concerned, but there it is. Okay, where's my glue gun? You know what? I think it is. It's not glued in this time, but it's right here in my drawer. have it glued in over here. It's always just kind of noisy. All I literally, oh no, but I will want to do the next set. Okay, I will bring it over. Okay, so I'm just going to take it off screen for a second. I'm just drying it, essentially, by heating it up. If you're following along with me, you'll need your clear embossing powder. You want to dry this off a little bit. You definitely would love to have an embossing buddy right now as she scrambles with her eyes to see if she can find her embossing buddy. Oh, it's also been put away. Woohoo! I was putting stuff away, and just actually a few days ago. So I was making cards, so I'm literally just drying it. It's not doing anything. But because I'm going to Versamark over top, I don't want the powder to stick anywhere except where I want the powder to stick, basically. And it will stick to our wet ink if you're not a little bit careful. I didn't go way crazy with my ink. Some of my girls are really intense when they use the brushes. And they would definitely need to do that step because their paper would be very heavy and beautiful. So you need your Versamark, your embossing buddy powder, your embossing buddy to help here. So I'm going to embossing buddy. How are you out there? And is it cold, Jan? Jan is from Montreal. Jan, I was just saying that I was hearing the French, and it was, yeah, it was not, I know that in Les Miserables they sing some songs part in French, period. This one I'm pretty sure most of the songs should have been in English except for some part of it. And she sang it so gorgeous. I'm going to send it to my daughter and make her cry. Okay, again, I was a little excessive there. It doesn't do anything. It's whatever. It's not like, if you're ever curious what it is, there, did you see that little puff of smoke? There's something comes out of it. But I was telling a story more than anything. Plus, there is ink there. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my Fragrant Forest in Versamark. And then I'm just going to put this down here and ink it up. And then I'll lay the paper down, hopefully all straight. Make sure it's good and inky. Hopefully your Versamark is cleaner than mine. It doesn't make any difference. Even with clear embossing powder, it's okay. I love this stamp. I'm in my mind trying to search for. I did this as a tamarack forest. Oh, I just loved it. All right. So yeah, I made cards with the kids. They wrote really good. Okay, I think that's totally great. And then I'm going to have, look at this nice block I have right here handy. So then I'll put that on. And do I care which way this goes? Probably this way, but I don't think it matters. I'm going to line this up. And again, it doesn't matter. I just want it to be straight once I get going. So I'm going to lay it down here. And you could put a piece of copy paper so you don't get your block inky, but it's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to bring this around like this and press. And I will say, so Tim, Cindy, I'm going to guess maybe Cindy's watching. How are you doing? I have a few friends that have, I've got green on here, so I'll just clean that up. I have a few friends that share their thing. Hello, Teresa. It is a very frosty. We have hoarfrost on all of our beautiful leaves. It's just gorgeous outside. Kind of neat that I'm doing, I live in a pine forest, though. This is a spruce forest. Okay, so hopefully that's good. If this was ink, I don't know why, but I just kind of run this back and forth with ink ones, but I feel like with the Versamark, it's kind of sticky. I like to press. Cross our fingers again. Lift it up. Oh, isn't it beautiful? You guys are like, can't see anything. I know, you're not supposed to be able to see anything yet, actually. That's okay. Okay, so lift that up. One high suggestion, Versamark looks like it's clean, kinda. It gets kind of stickier and harder to take off. So I'm not gonna put that away because I want to get it clean. Okay, so now we do need a piece of copy paper. which is hard for me to get to, can I just say. I did consider using this guy. I stole the words off of here. I think they're right around here somewhere. Here they are. I needed them for something. I thought about doing this technique. It embossed nicely together. And it may have, this would be a great one to do this technique with. 100% great one. But I was curious what this one would look like. So, okay, clear embossing powder. The clear embossing powder looks a lot like the white one, so double check always that you're using the clear. I think as soon as you start dumping it, well, it'd be too late, but it is slightly different than the white one. You can just go ahead and dump it all out because it all is going to go back in, not all. It's like, what did I say, that one commercial? Not Madge, I'm soaking in it, but all but 1 tablespoon when they were deep frying chicken. And like you'd ever save the oil from deep fried chicken. Oopsie. This is it's a little bit hard to do because the whole card, there's no place to hold on to it. Can I just say? Oh, for goodness sakes. And it did fall down into there. Okay, nice. Nice. Now it looks a little frosty. Hey, can you see that? Yeah, you can kind of, hey. Hi, Mary. All right. I'm going to... Did you guys see that little whatever that is? I don't know what that is. Come out, whatever you are. Oh, it's a little tiny piece of paper. Oh, I had it on my finger too, darn it. You come out. You come out, and where'd that other thing go? Anyways, that would be the only reason not to dump it all out, because then it doesn't all get dirty. But I don't know, it was already dirty because there was nothing for it to get contaminated on. I have to say, this is hard to do under the camera. Can I just tell you? Because I don't want to hit the camera. So I just have a smidgen left on my thing. We do have a really nice little set from Stampin' Up that has a little container. And it's nice and tidy. Okay, so again, now that's all like that. And I am going to, I don't think I can use my hands very well. But I have some tweezers. Oh, these will be excellent. All right, because I just need to hold on to this. See where I can hold on to it. Good gracious, you guys. You're like, right there. This is a very full sheet, can I tell you? So I'm hoping it's all really good. If I can hang on here, there's a piece right here, barely. I like to do that because I wanted it all off of there. Okay, I'm just getting rid of the powder. I should have done that over the toilet. Okay, I could have done it over the toilet too, but over the garbage. Okay, that's so pretty. Can you see it? Yes. I like it like that too, except you can't see it. Okay, so now bring in that gun, and I think it's just barely going to reach. Oh, it will though. Okay, it'll be noisy for a few seconds. Turn your volume down. There we go. Watching it. So this will make just a very subtle background. I had embossing, heat embossing, I guess, for H. Oh, yeah. So this is incorporating, we were like building up to it. H was heat embossing, I was inking. So we're doing a review of our techniques, the ABCs of techniques, every Thursday morning. And today is one added thing you can do to something like this. Ooh, that's interesting. And I just go along and let it do a really good melt instead of moving it all over like the way I blow dry my hair. I just hold it steady and let it also melt just beautifully. Okay, and you don't want to overheat, which I might have done down there. Did I overheat that or did I not heat it? I feel like I must have overheated that. Or I didn't get it. I think there's no Versamark there. Okay, well, that's a little sad, but that's not a bad place to then put your, what do they say? Mistakes are just excuses for embellishments. I can either embellish there, or I can have my words there. But yeah, I just totally missed that. That's okay. It's good. Okay, so that is a very, very subtle background. So you could go ahead and still have stuff, and you could still, this is where I had this. That's why I was borrowing this the other day, I think, was to show the wishing I had done, right? So you could have, this is the wrong colors, but you know what I mean? You could have something that would be kind of pretty, actually. But we're going to pop it pow now. That all sort of rhymed. So you'll need to have, and you can choose a couple different things. With this particular set, I don't know if I'm going to use black. We have a brayer. Yay for the brayer. We did do this with a brush. The brushes a couple times because we didn't have, oh, where's my brayer? Oh, here it is. Sorry, bringing in my brayer. You can use black ink, which would be great, but I am going to use Blackberry Bliss today because it's great. You could use navy as well. Oh, maybe I want navy. Oh, choices now. And the joy of this is if neither of these work properly, you can always go black over top because it's just a nice layer. Hi, Amy. Okay. Ooh, should I do navy or Blackberry Bliss? So a couple things that are running through my brain is how, if it's going to be any realism at all. So this one goes in my mind that this would be really just pretty. It's going to be jazzy. It goes with it. Yay, hurrah. Of course, this one will as well. You need a very dark color. Shaded spruce might, not in this card case, but in if you were doing all, shaded spruce might work. With the colors I chose, seriously, either of these will be really great. And then espresso I have definitely used before. In this case, I'm thinking, well, if I do blue, could this possibly look like the sun reflecting on the trees? Like, is there any realism? Because I'm leaning towards the Blackberry Bliss. Okay, I'm going to go with that, Connie, too. I'm leaning towards this one for the look. This one is just, I'm hesitating because I'm like, oh, I could make it, it might look real. People are like, it ain't going to look real, so don't worry about it. Okay, brayer. My brayer is from 100 years ago, but same philosophy of that. When you're inking it up, you need to lift. Don't just go like this, or you'll just have ink on that one little section and none over there kind of thing. I hope you can see the difference there. So you need to lift and roll, lift and roll, lift and roll, lift and roll. And you're going to use this a few times. We're going to do this a few times. So now you're going to go over the entire thing with your brayer. And you're going to start just slightly off kind of and give her a go. And I do like to work, I'll say kind of fast so that any lines that I get are still wet and they totally move the next time I give her. And I think this will be dark enough and nice. So classically, Joseph Color's Technicolor Dreamcoat is done in with black. And I was hoping that this would happen, and I think it's going to be okay. So it emboss resists, so just wait for it. But it also, it rises up, and so I'm not getting all through. So I was concerned. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable there. But I was a little concerned about wherever there was white in between the trees would get very dark. And I'm hoping that it gets dark enough. And we can come back in with a little brush if it's not quite dark enough. But there we go. I think that's dark. There's a lot of, there's actually, sometimes it takes more work to cover. And I just got gorgeous Blackberry Bliss all over this. The only reason I think sometimes it takes more ink is because here, this would have more space. This is really a covered piece. Okay, now you're going to take a tissue. I just had that one, but make sure it's clean, so I'll get a brand new one. And you might have it slightly damp, but just a minute, I want to do something here. One moment, please. Where'd that other tissue go that I just threw? The only reason I was concerned about that one was because it had, look what I found when I was in the States. Milk duds. Yum. I love milk duds. There's no rush right now, by the way. I can tell all sorts of stories now. I just thought I'd kind of clean this up. at least a little bit. That's a lot of ink, actually. I will say this, and some of you are probably cringing because I should have used that ink to do another project. I almost could have just covered it up with a piece of paper and then using a wet paintbrush. That was a lot of ink I could share, you know, like, right? But let's face it. We're going to put some refillers on our... Okay, so we're going to put some refillers on our wish list, our shopping list, and we're going to go for it. Ta-da! Okay, so we are a little bit hooped. We don't have enough definition to really see the trees. We got it standing out from the bottom background. Oh, that one works okay. And there, see, I need a little tiny bit of Blackberry Bliss. Oh, I'm a little bit hooped. Okay, this is pretty. It's not quite as pretty as it should be, honestly. We're not getting the definition of the trees. So we're going to try a little something with the brushes here where the bristles will probably go in. And this will be helpful. Let's go with that. We can pull off some of this ink here. See what happens. Might not be enough ink, but let's see. So I'm going to go in because I do need that definition. Oh, I am going to get it. Can you see that? So I just have to, and it's kind of interesting because as fast as I'm putting it on, it's kind of resisting off as well. But in the meantime, I think it's getting down into there. And I do need the don't you agree? The height was just a little bit too much. So your challenge is to choose a set, possibly not this. If you look down in this corner, see, that's what we want, is the definition. And I should be able to get it. Your challenge is to do one of these, post it over on Creativity for Everyone. A couple people have posted a couple things. And on Tuesdays, Keisha makes a draw. And you get highlighted as well. Oh, this is pretty. I am trying to apply the ink and then pull it back off. So my fingers are going to get inky because it is. I want it to go in between. This is where I need those firm hands I was talking about. My dark inkers. I think it's starting. Yes, you can see. It's still, oh, that's too bad because this is pretty. But it is a pretty solid mass. So a little tiny bit as well is I might not have flicked off quite as much Versamark either, but it's definitely there. It's just going to be very subtle. There, that's much better though. Whew, okay. Better. Still pretty solid. But up close you can sort of see it. Actually, it's very pretty. So it's a whole new subtle. So I apologize. To Joseph's Technicolor Dream, because then people would be like, how did you get the trees onto there? And the colors, how did you do that on a dark piece of paper? That's the idea, right? And in this case, it's just so much. So you can do it so there's hardly any, but it is nice if you have a lot. That is, there, it turned out. There, it did turn out. And then again, that piece there was only, I just didn't even have Versamark there. All right. So in here, that tree should have more definition. So I just didn't get it flicked off. So that was a solid mass of embossing. There's nothing I can do. Looking at it, I can't get more ink in there because it's just solid. You know what I'm trying to say. What's that called? Solid, what do you call it? I think it does need to be a solid image, Keisha. So, like, sorry. This case, I did hesitate because I knew this wasn't totally solid, but I thought it was solid enough. I did wonder what it would look like if the black was in there, not thinking about the fact that I was going to have a light background, right? That like the blues would show. So the more black I would have had in there, the better it would have been. That it's so close together. Now you're working on a little bit of the nature of the clear embossing powder, melting heavier in areas, maybe not every dot getting cleared. That's totally what happened here. So it looks pretty, but more dark lines in there would have been nice. This one would be solid, and you'd have anything that's white would be black, so that would be gorgeous. I can do a little tiny mini one for another example. It wouldn't take as long to do the whole, but that actually turned out really pretty in the long run. It doesn't look like a Christmas card, but I'll cover up that piece. And if you back that onto a beautiful, I don't think, yeah, I was going to say, it's not going to go on there. I have no piece of paper here. But yeah, no, that'll be pretty. That's nice. So I don't think it can be a total outline, but it shouldn't be totally, yeah. Stuff needs to get in between. That's what I'll go with. Stuff needs to get in between. All right. Very quickly, I will do same colors on here. And I'll stamp that other guy really fast. Hang on. I'll just do it with the two colors because really, this will be dark. Hang on a second. That no longer is going to work for this because I used it. Okay. And so you color the whole area. Okay, I really love these little guys, but not for this technique. And not when I'm trying to do it really fast to show you again the idea. Oh, and I will use this guy. Brush. I am not talking because I'm just furiously thinking, not furiously mad, just furiously working. So I went for a coffee after I made with the kids in the class, and there was an 85-year-old lady sitting having, and she had all her groceries. So although she was definitely had groceries, but she had them in, like she was carrying them back to her house. And I thought, yeah, I think that she's a good candidate for this. She's talking, her kids are all living around there. So, but that's my whole thing here in town too. I kind of think it's not that the people have no family. It's that they definitely come from an era that they're used to getting Christmas cards and also different cards. Okay, I have to say this is going to be a little bit ugly only because it's just blotchy. And the blotches, I think, will come through, guys. Just saying. Yellow will turn to mud. Ooh. Sorry. Let's color. Oh, that's that dark one. Let's see if those blotches will come through probably. That's what I'm trying to avoid right now. It's looking kind of a little bit. My rushing is causing me some angst. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Again, fast technique. This is the real version. R-E-E-L. I'm now going to heat this dry because it's got ink on it, and I don't want the embossing powder to stick. So heat drying it. And from the bottom too sometimes. And the layers. Let that dry for another second. Cool down. Grab the leaves. They were right here. Here they are. Leaf collection. Another one of my favorites. You do not need to have a background. The irony of this is, I was using that. So I wouldn't suggest an image like this because obviously then that whole inside is going to be not. But you can definitely stamp individual stamps One that we did years ago was, we had a medallion, and we did that one with the espresso. And actually, I think oh no, we did do colors. And we did it with, actually, what color did we have back in the day? What was the color? It wasn't Merlot, but it would have been like Merlot. Does that make sense? What color was it? I'm going to leave this inside here because of my ink situation. Oh, what was that color we had back in the day? I keep wanting to say, it wasn't Baroque. It was a beautiful red color. Like it wasn't cranberry. Oh my goodness. We used it all the time. Not cranberry crisp. I've got a whole bunch of other names going through my head. All right, so I'm Versamarking all over this guy. And I did 4x4, so I gotta go all the way across too. All right. I don't want to not get ink. I already had that error once, eh? Neat. Lay this guy down. This one doesn't have to be straight, obviously. It is a random pattern. I'm going to turn this so that I have it. Hi, Nikki. We're doing a Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat today. This is the real version, R-E-E-L. I already did. I have the act of stamping over on Instagram, and I often will turn my cards into reels. Speed up the photography mostly. Oh, that's pretty too. So that also could just be really crazy subtle background. That would stay the watermark over it. But also, if we do this, now clear embossing powder. I knew, see that little piece would come back to play with me. Okay, dump this all over. And again, as the same as the last one, there's no place to hang on to, making it kind of difficult. To coat it, but we're just coating it all. All my powder and my ink pads should not be here with the powder flying around. All right. Cool. Okay, and then down here. All right, this is going to be beautiful too. And if you really have something that you know is not supposed to be there, get a little flick out of there. And otherwise that's looking pretty darn good. So we'll put that away, the powder away. I'm just probably going to go a little tiny bit off screen here, potentially. Maybe it's not, maybe it's still in there probably, but I'm not off screen at all, I know. Okay. And put that away. Put this here. All right. Hang on to it again with my little tongs, which I lost. Okay, this is not the real version. So the real version would be paused while I was looking around for the tongs. And I just have to find some place to hold on to this. As I'm doing it, I'm like, that piece has that. Okay, hopefully that won't blow away with that. Come in and blow it hot. And again, you'll notice I just hang on to I chase up the melt. You've got a whole bunch of fine powder. You want it to melt solidly. So there's no use half heating it up and then pulling it away from the heat.
then it has to heat up a bigger clump. So just chasing it should give you a really nice finish. You don't want to heat emboss, it melts back in. If you already have clear embossing from another company, then embossing powders are very similar. You don't need a new jar. Heat embossing powders will last you. I have some heat embossing powders from like 1999 still kind of thing. And we used to have actually stacks of colors. So, all right, this makes a beautiful background, truly. Like, isn't that pretty? If I brought in, again, this is not going to be the words, but ta-da! Very, very pretty card, right? We're just going to jazz it up a little tiny bit for this Technicolor Dreamcoat. So again, we got our brayer. We lift, roll, lift, roll, and then we're just going to brayer this sucker on here. And this one will be different and the same. I could have done this one in navy. Connie's thinking, you could have tried that one in navy to see what it would look like. No, but I wanted to see. And again, if the purple wouldn't have been jazzy enough, you could definitely go back over top of this in black. And it just actually, right? Black's just going to cover it up. But it's so close to black, it's not funny in my mind. I will not clean that up, ladies. Don't sweat. We'll reuse that ink fast. You're all like, but show us what you're going to make with it. Okay, clean cloth, then veil. And I'll let you guys go get ready for the rest of my day and your day. I will bring back in that piece of paper though, because it's very hard to see what I'm doing here. So the Versamark, or the embossing, should resist, but it can kind of stain. So adding just a little tiny bit of moisture will actually clean off the ink a little bit better. You know, 1 second while I just go. My cup is getting dirty here. Just getting on my cloth just a little wet. So I can do a nice big swipe, but now I need to be careful because you don't want to get the ink. Oops, you don't want ink spots, if that makes sense. So if it's too wet, it's not working. But you do want to get the color all off of there. Partly because it also will continue to come off until it's off, basically. Does that make sense? So pretty. Come off, come off. Ta-da! So in truth, that one is a prettier example. The other one's nice for sure. I had my concerns about it. And I don't think I was too wrong. So it definitely can have some spaces and the thing, but this one was just a little bit. This one's prettier in my mind. It's a better example of the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Pretty, hey? So again, if I wanted more pop, because I use the so similar colors, I could definitely go black, and it would be a little bit more poppy. This wouldn't need to be. And then this little bit down here, if you're wondering, that was some of my hesitation. The embossing powder scattered a little tiny bit there, okay? So that's that. All right, ladies. Well, there, my 11 o'clock chimes are running. Did more technique than I did finishing the card. I will come back with these cards essentially finished down the road. If I really was going to try and do these, I happen to have some nice trees to go with that. Oh, thanks, Mary. It's a fun technique, guys. This is still pretty now the more I'm sitting at it, but I definitely had to come back in with the bristles because the brayer didn't go down into those really fine cracks. So just pay attention a little tiny bit to the sets that you use. that you can have a space, but it has to have enough dip so that you can see it. So I was just looking at this and I was thinking, I can kind of turn this into a Christmas tree card by adding some silliness like that. There, da, 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 Christmas together is better. But anyways, I'll come back with the finished cards at some point in my life. And in the meantime, I wish you a very happy day. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm glad to show you this fun technique. Try it with black because it's kind of crazy fun. Part of me is kind of thinking, should I do it with black right now? I'm really thinking, can you tell? This will be good. This is pretty. All right, ladies, I will talk with you. It is a good challenge. Get going, Connie. I'm curious what you guys end up with. This actually is looking good. The fairies came while I was gone, even though it was right there, just barely off camera, and made it look better. Just relax into it. All right, beautiful, beautiful cards. Give it a try. You need clear embossing powder underneath your, what do you call it? And away you go. If you have variations of it, I'd love to see what you guys do. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.